Somebody came and left a like. I don't know who it was, but thanks. It's really weird too because there's like a 2 minute, 3 minute gap between making the stream and then actually starting it. So they're like, I'm not gonna wait 3 minutes, but I will do something decent. Oh, what a day. Um, I'll try to get through these news stories first and then I'll maybe talk about other stuff, depending on if I want to stay on here longer, or just end it if there's no one in the chat speaking. But we won't know that for the time being. I say this virus has really been incredible. People actually apparently thought it was nearing the end or concluding, and then over the last maybe 2 or 3 days, it's just been finding different ways to catch the attention of people again. And I wish I was one of them. I wish I believed that it was over too. So you know, I could delude myself from reality as well, but it's just not the case. Let's start with, I guess, Iran first, because their story doesn't seem to be as large as the one over here. I'm on the Hills website. When you go on there, it feels like there's a big news story every day. I remember they have these like they'll say, "Oh, this senator said this, and this congressman sponsored this bill." So they're one of the few news websites that I see that's constantly mentioning what uh, I guess the lesser politicians are doing. So Trump's campaign manager came back 10 days after testing positive. Just because I'm not going to read that story, I'm just going to go off the headline. I talked about that this past Saturday when I was mentioning how it seems like there's a big contingent of screwed up things that happened to Trump's campaign managers. Because I mentioned that he had five of them between the 2016 campaign and the 2021. And the first one got in trouble for supposedly assaulting this reporter, Lewandowski. The second one is sitting up in jail. The third one's got the virus and she just left the White House. And the fourth one tried to kill himself last month. And then the current one just caught the disease. So two of them got the disease, and one's in prison and one had some psychological breakdown. And again, I'm not trying to use any of that to smear Trump. It's just a really strange coincidence. All these awful things happening to people that like are at the top of his campaign. All right, Iran set the nation's single day record for new coronavirus deaths and cases for the second day in a row on Monday. The country documented 272 fatalities and more than 4,200 new cases on Monday, breaking its single day record set on Sunday. The Iranian government is struggling to control the growing number of deaths and infections, with officials instituting stricter coronavirus restrictions and punishments in the capital this month. The city's university, so they're talking about Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. I always feel like I have to say that because I expect people who are not from there, like myself, to maybe not know the capital of these other places. So it's just a little common occurrence. Also, whoever hit the like button, thank you. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate it. All right, Tehran's university, schools, libraries, mosques, movie theaters, museums, and beauty salons have shut down, and masks are mandated outdoors and in public spaces in the city. Iran's health minister, Saeed Namaki, is now calling for tougher punishments against those who violate these policies, as the fine for not wearing a mask is about the price of a burger downtown, according to the state run RNA news agency. That actually reminds me of this senator over here, McSally, when she was getting out fundraised by Kelly in Arizona because they're running against each other in the Senate race. She actually got caught on video saying, "Hey, maybe you guys can fast a meal and send me some money." So people were calling her out for that, but that's what this reminds me of, where the fee for not wearing a mask in Iran, he's equating to the price to get a burger. So you're gonna have to fast the meal if you don't pay this fee. And like I said, people can make mandates all they want, but if there's no punishment for violating it, you're just going to have people walk around it because a lot of us don't go out and steal and uh, drink and drive because we're these great citizens with moral values. We know that when we do those things, we have a high chance of getting in trouble, and that the penalty will be very steep for those transgressions. But yeah, it is interesting because I hadn't heard too much about how the disease has been going on in Iran up until today. But that's that COVID comeback. They thought it was. I don't know what Iran's position was because again I haven't looked too much into it, but they probably were like us where they had several months of just not hearing that much, or it seemed as if things were getting better, and then it just started increasing. Because that's how it was for California. We had the disease not as bad as places like New Jersey and New York, and then all of a sudden in like June, like months after it starts, right? It just starts slamming up. That's really crazy. And now we've ended up being the one that has the most cases. Let me see where this is. U.S. strikes Taliban. Yeah, I'll leave that out of here. Also, I saw a little bit of that hearing with the Senate, confirmations for Tony Barrett, but I'm not going to talk too much about because I didn't see that much. So I don't want to say how it went when I barely watched it. I will say some of the opening statements were a little funny, but I'm not going to harp too much on it. Well, I can find them talking about it on TV, but not an article from The Hill. That's shocking. All right, well, we'll just look it up on Google. Coronavirus, United States. My friends at The Hill really shocked me. That's from USA Today 3 hours ago. About 75,000 more Americans died from COVID-19 pandemic than reported in spring and summer, study finds. Oh, let's go look and see what this says. And that's actually been a thing people have talked about where um, the numbers that are being used. So when they say we've got 5,000 cases today and there's 30 deaths, that those are minimums, which is what should be making this more scary than it's being considered by some people. That the numbers themselves are already bad, but the fact that they're like an at least percentage of just we know this is how many there have been, there are probably more, is what should be creepy. The coronavirus pandemic may have caused tens of thousands of more deaths in the spring and summer than previously thought, a new study finds. Researchers at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond found nearly 75,000 more people may have died from the pandemic than what was recorded in March to July, rather, according to the report published Monday in the peer-reviewed journal JAMA. By examining death certificates, the study found more than 150,000 deaths were officially attributed to COVID-19 during that period. But researchers determined that nearly 75,000 additional deaths were indirectly caused by the pandemic, bringing the total number of deaths for those 4 months to more than 225,000. Jesus Christ. Like I said, this disease should be considered more scary than it's being. I know there are a lot of people that wear masks and try to protect themselves, but I'll never forget Trump saying, "Oh, it's winding down," and then he catches it, and then all the different people in the White House caught it. It's not winding down; it's spreading around. But again, there's I guess, contingent of his supporters who still can't go over the person that said, "I believe in the fake hoax virus." They're really making up the fact that millions of people caught this. It's all just this big stage show. So, conspiracy theorists can be some of the worst individuals. Man, they don't even care. Like, you can have a I don't know a preponderance of bodies just pile up over fatalities from a disease, and they will say, "No, no, that's not real. That's a trick." And he actually said, "I thought you were intelligent." I was like, "Okay, bye." Like, if you want to go to someone that denies how it's serious this is, go, I don't know, go watch another person. It's just weird. It's funny too because the stream that where that was said, I wasn't even talking about this. Like, I just mentioned it. That's actually a phenomenon where I'll mention something very briefly. Like, it won't even be the main topic of the stream, but that, like, 30-second, 1 minute clip that person responds to, and they like use it as their basis to attack me. No, but now YouTube is such a good website to see phenomenons on, where somebody can supposedly agree with everything you're saying, and then they just start cherry picking what parts of what you're saying to get mad about. All right, let me go look for something else. Because there was another story that was being talked about on CNN earlier today. Um, oh, here it is. Reuters is reporting it. Yeah, I used to visit Reuters all the time, and I just stopped using them. I just don't like the layout of the site where they've got these like really bland white pages, and there's no articles on the side. Like, they probably have the most primitive looking website out of any of these news groups I see. New cases of COVID-19 in the United States hit a 2-month high on Friday, with over 58,000 infections of the coronavirus reported, and hospitalizations in the Midwest at record levels for a fifth day in a row. 10 of the 50 states reported record one-day rises in cases on Friday, including the Midwestern states of Indiana, Minnesota, Missouri, and Ohio. Wisconsin and Illinois recorded over 3,000 new cases for a second day in a row, a 2-day trend not seen even during the height of the previous outbreak in the spring, according to Reuters data. The western states of Montana, New Mexico, and Wyoming also reported the biggest one-day jumps in cases, as did Oklahoma and West Virginia. 19 states have seen record increases in new cases so far in October. Amid the resurgence in cases across the nation, President Trump, who recently contracted COVID-19, addressed his supporters from the balcony of the White House on Saturday, a prelude to restarting his reelection campaign. Oh yeah, The Hill had actually a pretty decent article about how when he caught the disease, it just threw his whole campaign through a loop, because they had these events planned for him, and him sitting up in the hospital was, I guess, the antithesis of what they had hoped for. Um, and then, the debate getting canceled also screwed things up. I actually want to go back and look. When's the last time we only had 2 debates for the, I guess, the top 2 at the ticket? Because that's a very unusual thing. But again, the last couple of years have been pretty unusual. And then with Congress getting Congress, I just say the Senate, because the House hasn't really had this problem. So you had 3 Republican senators catch the disease. I'm trying to hold up 3 fingers, but I can't get this one to to stay down. You had 3 of them catch the disease, And you would think, all right, they're going to stay home. They're not going to risk their health or anyone else's health um, to get some lady confirmed that is probably going to make it anyway. Because that's something people like to not be concerned about, the fact that with both of Trump's Supreme Court nominees, he got Democrats to vote for them, or rather, had Democrats who voted for them. So even if you're able to peel off a Republican or two, you can't count on all the people on your team to stay on your side when it comes to voting for these nominees. And instead, you had one of them, Mike Lee, who just said, "Nah, I know I was sick, but screw it, I'll come today anyway." It's really weird too because when they had Leahy, who's the longest serving senator currently, on the TV or on the little projection camera, it means that they have the option to not come in person. So I don't know why they couldn't have just had that group just attend the hearing, but not actually be there physically. Like, they're this obsessed with the Supreme Court to where they're like, "Oh, I'll risk my health. I'll risk getting everybody there infected so this person can get on the court." Uh, you know, as if she wasn't already going to get on there. The easiest prediction you can make if you're in the politics is that a Supreme Court justice will make it, especially one that the Republican nominates, whether that's Trump or Bush or whoever, because the Democrats are always so damn weak that they can bring up this person's record. They can project about how evil they're going to be when they get on the court, and they'll still not only have almost all of the other party vote for that person, but they'll also have members of their own team vote for that person. Like, I actually had a video I ended up canceling about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and it was going to be about McConnell because he gave this speech about maybe was it 2 weeks ago? It was right around the time where before I think Trump got the virus, and he was mentioning all of these different historical examples of Republicans nominating people to the Supreme Court. And then during the confirmation process, the Democrats were saying they're going to roll back, Roe v. Wade, and they're going to destroy healthcare and all these different criticisms and warnings that seem to just get recycled every single time a Republican picks somebody. And he was mentioning how they did this to John Paul Stevens and Anthony Kennedy, and then the two of them ended up getting, praise for being bipartisan or being, I guess, more to the left than they had been assessed to be. It was a really decent, because I like when people make what's the way of saying it? They connect all of it together. Like, a lot of times when people discuss things with Trump, they usually stick to the last 4 years when uh, there's a lot that can be learned from the past. So to see a senator who's been around for over 30 years just go, "Oh, they did this to this person and that person and this person." And again, even without having been there for all of those different confirmation processes, I still vividly remember I guess, last 4 or 5 of them. People like to say the evil Republicans, but outside of Garland, both of his other Supreme Court picks not only were able to get through the Senate, but they also got through in much larger margins than Kavanaugh did. I think Sotomayor had 60 votes. You can go look it up if I'm wrong. It was like 30 people vote against her. And then Kagan had, I think, it was like a little bit of a 50-40 margin. I'm just saying, I think it's really ironic that the Republicans are the obstructionists, but then the Democratic Supreme Court choices get through, but then the Republican ones get villainized, and like the whole party is like, "I don't care what you do, I will not support you." Yeah, we got 6 people here. Nobody say anything. And I can't say I'm too surprised. I'd rather no one say anything versus what happened last week, where the person came in here to spam the song, and then when I told them to stop spamming this song, they chose to insult me. So they had to get the Thanos snap. That's really surprising. I thought we would at least get some comments here or there, but whatever. I guess on Monday people become mute. Hey, that's gonna be my new nickname for if I stream on Monday. It's Mute Monday, where nobody wants to say anything. I don't want to talk. Yeah, this definitely was the worst issue that could have happened to Trump during his, I guess, final year of his last term. Not last term, first term. I don't want to sound prophetic because I already did some prediction videos that didn't turn out the way I thought they would. Um, and again, I my only gripe with people who like blame him for some of this is that they don't factor in the responses of certain states. So we mentioned how with New York you had Cuomo authorizing what people with the disease to be at nursing homes, and this caused even more people to get infected and die. And it's like one of the problems I have with people's perception of the presidency is that a lot of them think it's like being the emperor, that if something goes wrong when they're in office, there's no one else who could play a factor or control any of it. So that's why even though you have all of these different governors, again, whether it's Cuomo or DeSantis or any of these other people, the president will still be the one that gets blamed almost entirely just because they're the president. I just don't think that's fair, but whatever. It's crazy too. I mean, they like things have gotten so bad in terms of just how people assess issues that I'm now defending a president I don't even like. Like I'm now like almost forced onto his side because of how unfair this particular criticism is. That's crazy. That's a running theme with politics where the other people get so outrageous they end up making me be on the side of politicians I'm not even a fan of. So just like I would be one of the people who said Trump didn't do that great of a job with, I guess, combating this, but then I would also be forced to say that still doesn't mean he's the only person who should take responsibility for it. When you've got all these damn governors that uh, not only didn't do mask mandates, they reopened things too early. They wouldn't shut down because they said, "Oh, it's just a couple of people," like in Alabama. It's just there's so many other people who could have done something with regard to the infections within their own states. And despite the fact that they didn't, they're not going to get the same blowback that Trump has gotten because we don't pay attention to governors or senators or congressmen. Hell, we should have people getting as pissed at him as they do as pissed at the members of the House who voted for the CARES Act, that little crappy trick bill. Then we should be just as mad at all of them as we are at Trump. Again, a lot of people botched this. The House botched it with that stupid vote. The Senate Republicans botched it because McConnell doesn't like to bring up votes for from the House or bills from the House for up for a vote. God forbid we make laws as lawmakers. The specific governors, screwed up. There's just been so many different people that are in like federal positions or in some position of power as elected, as quote unquote elected leaders that have really botched and screwed up something along the way. And because they're not the president, nobody cares. That's really sad. People act so ridiculous for no reason. And then things they should be mad about, they don't care about. We need like a tier list of all the people who should be blamed for this. Because I put Kumo up there. I put um, Newsom up there. Any of the governors, like the really large states, you can always find something stupid that they did, like with Abbott in Texas. Yeah, there really should be like a documentary or some kind of video about people thinking the president is the emperor, blame him for every damn thing. That's really crazy. I ended up actually defending Trump for I want to do like a whole video just with all the different times I defended him. They like the critiques get so ridiculous they make me side with people I'm not even a fan of in any capacity. It's really nuts. Plug this charger into that. COVID is the weakest virus compared to the past ones. I don't know what that means. Like, what are you comparing it to? Swine flu, the 1918 pandemic. I don't. Kevin isn't specific, so I don't know what he's talking about. Kevin just comes here to make blanket statements. Ever since he got that avatar from King of the Hill, he just doesn't feel like explaining or articulating his view. I'm the dude that I'm gonna go on like those movie review channels, like this film sucks, and then the comment section are like, "Well, why do you feel that way?" I'm not even gonna explain. I was wondering when Kevin was gonna show up because he were you here on Saturday? I don't think you were. Let me go look. I don't remember Kevin making an appearance. Oh, there he is. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I've said repeatedly I think Trump and Biden are both garbage and wouldn't vote for either one of them. I mean, I guess Tim doesn't have ears. He can't hear what I'm actually saying. Only unhealthy old people are dying from COVID, and I never met a soul with COVID. I haven't directly interacted with anyone who's caught it, but people still have it. I met some people who, after I spoke to them, caught it, but not while they had it. I see them. Yeah, people on here choose what they want to hear. There was this one guy. Why would I be wearing a mask on a stream at my own house? The point of having those is when you're around other people, you wear them. So if I'm not around anyone else, why the hell would I be wearing it? Got fired last week, but Dunkin' Donuts has hired me. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I heard from them a couple of months ago, and then that went nowhere. That's the one that had the 40 people. What was it, 40 or 50 people applying for 4 positions? Some crazy number, a ratio where like the majority of people just we're so outnumbering the amount of positions open. Hey Kevin, have you ever seen Friday the 13th? The first one? Let me know. I'm about to make a joke. I don't want to give you no spoilers or anything. So do you remember how in the first one, when the mother is going around attacking Alice, she's like, she's doing Jason's voice. She's like, "Kill her, mommy, kill her." With the stuff that Tim is writing, he's like, I'm hearing, "Ban me, Justin, ban me. Do the Thanos snap. Erase my stupid crap." I'm gonna start hearing the that music in the background. Oh my god, that blog button's looking really cute right now. Hey, if half the chicks I spoke to were as attractive as this block button is looking, I might still be trying to interact with them. Why aren't you wearing a mask indoors? Oh, you don't see the person right next to your comments? That's crazy. At no point anywhere on any video did I ever say I was gonna vote for Trump, and yet this person, like, I guess, rewrote history. I haven't seen him before either. So when you said Tim New, I thought you meant that that was someone else with the first name Tim, but with the last name New. But I told you, Kevin, a lot of these people on this website that like write the most antagonistic crap, it's usually someone you've never seen before. So I said I got the most crusty rogues gallery. I'm here to write something dumb so you can get rid of me. Oh, I know it is. It's just really sad that we're actually talking about a pretty serious issue and the nuances of it. And then instead of actually addressing what's being stated, it's just this weird like push to, I guess, put some words in your mouth that you've never stated at any point. But yeah, ALU, I hope you noticed that blue wrench next to you. That's a pretty new feature. So how's that one song go? It's "I've Got the Power." That's what you should be hearing if you think you want to get rid of that person. I will not fault you. No, that's the worst part of doing a stream because objectively, uh, like we'll sit here and actually talk about an issue in a nuanced way, and then somebody's like, "I'm gonna say some random crap that has nothing to do with anything." That's their hallmark. Yeah, I don't know what porn has to do with a virus that's killed 200,000 people. So let's look at this non sequitur of weird crap that's been written. The white privilege to vote for Trump, even though I'm not going to, and didn't when he ran the first time either. Where is your mask then as I'm sitting indoors by myself, which is specifically when you don't have to use it because the point of having one is to use it when you're around other people. And then they're saying that we're all trolls on streams, and then he's randomly mentioning porn. So I really don't see where this adds to the conversation in the slightest. But again, another worthless individual online. That's how they roll. They just say a bunch of garbage and show how worthless they are. It's sad too. Like I mentioned that was the biggest reason I kind of moved away from doing streams because when you do a video and you're able to just put something up, there's not that chance of someone like messing with what's being said. Like they'll respond to the whole thing or pieces of it, but it doesn't interrupt the flow of what you're saying. Oh, you should have told me. No, that's why I didn't. I held off because I was waiting for you to do it. Don't worry, there'll be more clowns. There's no shortage of those. Hey, we have a surplus of people online harassing me and chicks that waste your time. Those are the two things we'll never run out of. You mean the Infinity Gauntlet? No, this website has some of the craziest. That's why I did that stream. Why are men so obsessed with Justin? Like, why would another man care if I watch porn? Which again had nothing to do with the stream itself, but why would that be something he's actually like thinking about? Like, oh man, I bet he watches uh naked people having like where does that have anything to do with what's being discussed? Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't like even the one that had the guy that was drive-by type, and that one was probably a little bit more entertaining because I went on like a whole tirade of how if these people were so much better than me, like so much smarter and knew all this stuff, why have we never heard of them? Yeah, but just anytime I stream, it's like there has to be that one person that comes and starts writing weird crap. Which again, if it's done in a respectful manner, I usually, more likely to not pull out the band hammer. Let's see here. Kang should have been in an Avengers movie. I mean, I'm still pissed that Brainiac was never in the Superman movie. I don't know how that hasn't happened yet. That's Twilight Zone stuff right there. One of his most significant and personal villains, not in any of those films. This website is like that's why I said that every time I stream, Arkham Asylum lets out some more inmates. They're like, let's let the clowns out. They can go on the computers today. There actually was this one time I was at the library about maybe I think I was in 10th grade, and there was a guy who was on one of the computers because I was there for some tutoring by this tutor that was an acquaintance of my family, and the guy was looking at. I just barely glimpsed over there, but he was looking at some woman that I think was wearing like a bra or something. He was like, "Oh yeah," and then there was these two elderly women that came to sit on the sides of him when he was on the computer, and they were on the computers as well. He was like, "Oh yeah, I found one," and then they told him to like be quiet or to silence or whatever, and then he got up and left. But he was just so excited to see this half naked random chick on the computer. And again, you're doing that at the library, which again, looking at it is one thing, but then the reaction that he was making was drawing attention to himself. No, that was hilarious. Yeah, Wonder Woman was a fluke. That was the one good film. I think that's almost like them saying, "Hey, we've been promising this movie for over 20 years. Let's not screw it up." Because I at one point thought that film was never going to get made. I remember when they were talking about a script for that in was that 2007? Just around the time The Dark Knight came out, that it was just sitting there in limbo, development hell, and then they finally released it. Well, AOU, they wrote the first script for a Wonder Woman film in '96, and we didn't get the actual movie until 3 years ago. So yeah, 21 years. This film just sitting around in limbo. And remember what happened with Freddy versus Jason, where we got the teaser for that in '93, and then the actual film didn't come out for 10 years. Now, James, there's a whole bunch of little instances with films where they just keep getting delayed and pushed back. Yeah, those movies just they said like DC is the go-to place for development hell. Because one of the things I really liked about the MCU, at least the start of it, not so much the ones after the first Avengers, was that a lot of characters who were supposed to be like their own heroes finally got films. Like I remember the Thor film was sitting around for 10 years, and that just a lot of us thought that was never going to get made. Hell, we still don't have another Hulk movie. We're going to be waiting on that forever. It's been 12 years and still no hints of a sequel. Oh, I hate that word. I'm so sick of that. I was gonna do a video on Dragon Ball fans and how they have this thing where if you use any character that's not Goku or Vegeta, so any of that any character that's not the two of them or someone that's been introduced since Battle of Gods, they say that they're only being used for nostalgia and for fan service. Like the writer of the manga or of the show cannot legitimately just want to use any of those older characters. Like there has to be some financial merchandise motive. And it's really funny to hear that because the whole reason Super and the rest of this new Dragon Ball stuff exists is because of nostalgia. So they're upset at the use of nostalgia in their nostalgia show. It's like, stop giving me more of that thing that made this crap exist even in the first place. No, I want to do a whole rant video about nostalgia, people using your age to dispute your arguments, all that stuff you can't control that people use to attack you with. Oh, James, you remember? You only don't like the new Star Wars movies because they didn't come out 10 years ago. Because we know we never saw anything as kids that we didn't like. That never happened. So that's why I got to a point where outside of when I'm doing a stream or if I like put up a video, I don't even interact with people about any of this I don't even know what you would call it, entertainment, just like really any topic uh, at all, because they will completely ignore your opinion or try to like gas you up. It's really annoying. Give me a second about to answer this call. So that person I actually called earlier before I started the stream because I was trying to make sure they wouldn't call me during it. And I gave them about, I think, maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes, and they just wouldn't call. Now I know when James logged in today and he saw that wrench, he was like, "What's this? The power has been bestowed upon me." You know, I actually got made a mod on this one guy's channel. He had 5,000 subs, and then like I think 3 weeks or 3 months later, like a really short time later, he got rid of his channel. He just deleted it. It's like, damn. Because I would go and look in the comment section. I was scouting around. Actually, I did. I was like, what is this? Well, that was just because due to the length of time I've interacted with you, I trust you more than most of the other people on here. So that's like a symbolic thing. You know, you don't have to, I'm not expecting you to go and prune through my comments or anything, but if you're on a stream and somebody's writing crazy crap, you know what to do. I just let that person talk for a little bit because I was trying to see if they were actually going to say anything. Oh, the guy that screams about the video games? Yeah, my favorite clip of him is still the one against, what's that guy's name, Viscant, when they were at the Street Fighter convention. And he started talking about his outfit looked like he got out of Target. I'm just thinking to myself, why would this grown man care about what this other? Like that's one of the few other instances where I've just been watching the video where there's been like another man so concerned about the ensemble of another man. Yeah, it was really amusing because that's one of the rare instances where I've seen people talk to each other the way that trolls talk to me online. Like where they're calling each other out of their name and like getting up in each other's face. It was funny. And you know it's not something they plan on actually, being physical about, because if you're actually going to fight someone, you're not going to try and like charge them among this large group of people who are probably going to break it up. That's my favorite thing about online. That like two people will be arguing back and forth and talk about how like the other person is garbage, and then when they meet each other in person, they're kissing each other's behinds and they're best friends. That's my favorite computer clown trait. A manlet, it would have been bullying if they fought. Or would have been bullying if they fought. Yeah, that was funny. Just that little interaction between the two of them. And he was like, "You don't know me." Because that's actually been something I've said to people on here, like when they're doing those little character analysis. I'm like, how the hell does someone who's never met me know how confident I am? Now, people online all like become psychologists. This person is not wearing a mask while they're indoors with nobody around them. They're a threat to society. See what else is here. Kevin said, "Please ban me," because he was talking trash about my show earlier. Um, it's really weird too because I'm someone who watches multiple people on here, and I just don't see, like, I don't do what's done to me on here. Like there's nobody I've watched where I'm just like, this person is going to shoot up a school. Like it's weird. This person is going to blow up a building. This person's going to rape a woman. And then it's like you're saying that stuff not about someone who is expressing interest in doing any of that. Um, all they're doing is sitting on a chair or sitting down, articulating their grievances with a group of people, and you're like, this is scary. And again, it usually only happens if you talk about chicks. Because if I go and talk about why I don't like the policies of the current, I don't know, two senators from my state, nobody starts saying I'm going to attack Feinstein or Harris. It's literally only when you discuss broads do people have these like weird attempts to like paint you as this villain. Nah, Kevin, I know what you meant. You said I might as well just call my show Robot Chickens Ripoff. I remember when I used to watch Adult Swim when I was like, I think 9, 10, 11. And every time one of my relatives would come into the room, I would change the channel, and then when they leave, change it back. That's like the earliest, slickest thing I ever did, where just every time you hear the door open and change the channel. Then when they come out, they go out, just change it back. Oh my God. You said it's almost, oh, I don't even want to read that mean thing you just wrote. I'm gonna report Kevin for cyberbullying. I'm gonna go tell the execs of Adult Swim, your network is giving my unrelated show a bad name. And you can all thank Kevin. I'm gonna print out his avatar and like all of his different messages on my stream and just send it to them. Yeah, there are a lot of good things that were made by people who are not good. I'd always stay up late just to watch Robot Chicken, or oh, I remember the other one where it was the butt with legs, and I was shocked because I couldn't believe you could actually have a show with that name. Yeah, Adult Swim was fun because and I remember when Cartoon Network they used to have it to where every Friday Adult Swim would just be like thrown in the trash because they knew that was when kids could stay up late, so they would just air different cartoons all throughout the night. That was Adult Swim's night off. Also, I know James didn't see episode 45. So somebody, his sister just sent me a message and she detailed the fact that he ignored it, and I was so hurt. So he's been exposed. I'm about to take away his mod ship one day after giving it to him. King of the Hill was on Adult Swim too. Yeah, I remember. No, the only one of those like a big like adult cartoons that was never on Adult Swim was Simpsons, because that was always the hardest one for me to see. No, James, that's a reference to this the fact that I actually like I was gonna do this video on the top 10 worst things women ever did to me. And there literally is a broad who gave me her number one day before deciding to not speak to me anymore. Like I literally was given her number the day before she just stopped responding to any. Like, it was so weird. because it was something I didn't pick up on until, when I realized, yeah, this person isn't going to respond. And was like, so she literally gave me the number just to 24 hours later, like, yeah, screw you. And that was going to be part of my point of how they just changed their minds so quickly out of nowhere. No, if I really, they have this thing about Halloween where they mention all Michael Myers psychiatrists went insane trying to like help him. If you really think about this chick stuff, it will drive you crazy because you'll get told by people online you need to have all these 99 different traits, and then you'll see people in real life, men who don't have those traits or a good chunk of them, to still be able to get with someone. And then you'll talk to some woman and she'll say one thing and then do the opposite, and just it'll keep happening over and over. And say, damn, what the hell is this? God, I can't wait to do that video. Oh, I still got to do the Halloween themed relationship video. That one's going to be fun. It's going to be about this chick that thought I wasn't good enough to hear her voice. I wasn't worthy of hearing her voice. Let's see what else is here. Yeah, there was actually a new saga with this job stuff. So um, I don't check in my email every day. I try to check every day or two. Um, and what place was it? I'm not going to say it because it doesn't matter. There was a restaurant that sent me a request. Like they're like, oh, can you meet us on Monday? And they send me this on Saturday during my stream. And I'm like, I'll look back on it, in a few days, whatever. Uh, and then I clicked the link because I didn't see that they had two different times that they were offering, where it was 4 o'clock or 4:30. So either 4 or 30 minutes later. I click it today, 2 days after they've sent it. And it says, sorry, we've booked all the times we sent you. So I can't wait for someone to now blame me for not logging into my email every day. If you had logged in your email on October 11th, they would have changed your life. Oh, that's crazy. Because someone will do that. They'll go, "Oh, you should have been in your email every day." It's like, well, every 2 days isn't good enough. All right. Hell, I don't even know if it actually if all of them were booked yesterday, or hell, maybe even on Saturday. So sorry that I didn't click a link fast enough. I don't feel too bad because I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. But you remember how people roll. If you ever like have any misgiving about one particular part of something, that was the magic part. That was the magic position that was going to reverse the luck I've had in the last 100 applications. Okay, Kevin said either the woman I'm interested in likes me or not. Effort increases when mutual interest is shown. Yeah, well, I was going to do a video on that little stupid self-fulfilling prophecy crap where people try to say that if you think something will happen, then it'll happen. I'm like, well, the first chick I ever approached, who I knew for 5 years, I was very confident she would say yes because she gave me her number very quickly. We used to speak. And to say I was shocked when she was like, I'm just not interested. I was like, what? But again, though, that's one of several instances where I actually thought it was going to work out. And then I'm just saying that should be the counterpoint of if it works when you think it will, and then when you think it will and it still doesn't, then surely the actions of the other person are the thing that determines if it actually is going to happen, which again, I have no control over. Again, it's them trying to make me responsible for something somebody else does. Hate having my time wasted by employers. Well, I would rather they did that than me just, drive down there or go down there and then, they're like, oh, let me smile in your face and pretend I'm interested in hiring you. And then you get a rejection notice a few days later and they get blamed by everybody online for these pricks deciding to hire somebody else. because we all know when you get turned down by an employer, you're supposed to, I guess, like threaten them. Now, people online will drive you crazy if you let them. They just have like a really antagonistic view of everything. Like no matter what it is, as long as it has to do with what someone else isn't doing, you get blamed for it. Like if James doesn't come to my stream next Saturday, I'm gonna have somebody tell me that I was interesting enough for him to show up on Saturday. Even though I'm not his hands, I'm not his fingers, I can't control him. So I just think it's really stupid. But yeah, I think I've discussed what needs to be said, so I'll end this stream here. So Kevin, James, the troll from 50 minutes ago, thanks for showing up. See ya.